Welcome to Physics 101. Today we are going to try and determine the acceleration of a steel ball rolling down an inclined plane. Now in solving for the acceleration, we know that we are going to need to find three components. Our first component is the displacement. Now in finding the displacement, we will take the ending point of where the ball stops and the beginning point from where the ball is released and subtract the two, thus giving us the displacement. Their second component is the time it takes the ball to roll from the starting point to the end point. We'll use a stopwatch to record this. And our third component is the initial velocity. Well, we know that we are dropping the ball from rest, thus the initial velocity is 0. Now let's look at the materials we're going to use for this experiment. We have our two steel rods taped together. We have our good old friend, the meter stick. We have our steel ball, and we also have tape. Now let's set up our lab. We are going to prop up the two rods by using a book to then create an inclined plane. We are then going to use the tape to create a starting point to where we will release the ball and the ending point to where we will stop the ball. We will record the time it takes the ball to go from the starting point to the ending point. It is also important to have your ruler set up, measuring the distance or the displacement between the end point and the start point. Now it is also important to note that we also want to record the height that the rod is at, which we will use a little later on. So now we can start. What we want to do is we want to place our ball at the starting point and release it from rest and record the time it takes to get to the end point. With doing this and gaining all of our data, we will then be able to solve for the acceleration. Now we want to do this 5 times. After the 5th time, we want to change the height by maybe adding a textbook or two, and then redoing the procedure all over again. We want to change the height twice throughout the experiment. Now once all of our data is collected, we are going to create a plot of height versus acceleration so we can see the relationship that forms between them. And once we have completed this, I have a few conclusion questions for you all to answer and think a little bit more about what we did in lab. Alrighty, I'll see you in lab. Bye-bye.